I know there are those who like to badmouth infinite banking as being a scam or just a sales gimmick to bilk people out of their money and pad the pockets of unscrupulous insurance agents. I won't mention names. Dave Ramsey. Aloha, I'm Stan Cox, principal broker and strategist with SC Finance Strategies and Insurance Consultants. I'm also the author of the books on the tax-free cash growth warehouse strategy, and I'm the managing director of the Hawaii Financial Freethinkers Academy, a nonprofit financial literacy education organization. For the past several years, I've focused on and specialized in the infinite banking concept and the tax-free cash growth warehouse finance strategy. In my experience, those who like to paint an ugly picture of infinite banking have the ulterior motive of wanting you to give them your money to manage, rather than you learn and take advantage of finance strategies that benefit you more than the agent or financial advisor. And then there's the fact that most people, including finance gurus, financial planners, and insurance agents, are either completely ignorant about or just don't understand infinite banking. To illustrate that point, and I tell this story in my book, Tax-Free Cash Growth Warehouse, the 178-Year-Old Secret, back when I was with one of the largest and oldest life insurance companies as an agent, all agents were required to complete 2 weeks of intensive training on the company's products and benefits. The trainer had been trained at the home office of the company in New York, and he was fully certified in all areas of all the products. He had years of experience as a financial planner with the full array of certifications and was the expert on everything the company offered. Of course, that's why he was the trainer. I approached him after class one day and I told him, you know, I have a client interested in infinite banking. What does the company have that I could show him that would facilitate the strategy? My expert trainer replied, what do you mean by infinite banking? Imagine my disappointment. Since then, I've asked a lot of agents and advisors from many different companies, what do you know about infinite banking? And by far, most of them reply with either, what's infinite banking? Or, I've heard of it. Just last week, a good friend and fellow infinite banking enthusiast said to me that there's a lot of bad mouthing about infinite banking going on out there. Well, I guess it depends on who you hang out with or talk to. And my friend does have a number of contacts that are very pro universal life. So that might explain why she's been hearing people giving a bad rap to banking. But in any case, I thought I really should do a little digging and provide some insight that could clear up some of the things that are being said. So I went to Google and I found some things that are being claimed about infinite banking that, if believed, would make the idea less attractive, for sure, and for the most part, just aren't true. Of course, it is true that there are unscrupulous agents out there in the jungle of commerce who are only after the money and will say anything to get people to buy from them. And in many cases, that includes trying to make anything that they aren't selling look bad or scary or too complicated. Well, here are a couple of things I read online. And these were from an article that had just outlined several great advantages of infinite banking. So here's one of the dark things. Okay, so lengthy surrender period. The claim is that with most companies, you aren't able to close or surrender your policy for at least 5 to 10 years. And that makes it a long-term commitment with little flexibility. And that could be a problem if your circumstances were to change. Well, that's what the article said. But you know, I really don't know if that's true or not. I know that none of the companies that I work with have that kind of a policy regarding closing a life insurance policy. I never heard of such a ridiculous claim. I mean, after all you have to do is stop paying the premiums and it gets canceled. I know that most annuities have surrender periods where there's a penalty for closing the account early, but I've never heard of a restriction on closing a life insurance policy. The most common complaint about whole life insurance for those who are selling term or universal life is that it takes a long time for the cash value to catch up with the amount of premium paid into the policy. And that's one of Dave Ramsey's pet objections to infinite banking. And it is true for regular straight whole life. But if a policy is designed correctly for the infinite banking, 60% or more of the premium paid is in the cash value immediately. And then the article continues, well, that might require you to pay their consulting fee in order to get it exactly right for you. And, this point is really the highlight of Dave Ramsey's rant against infinite banking. How agents use the concept of infinite banking to pad their pockets with high commission whole life designs. Unfortunately, that is also true. That is, I've seen a number of agencies that promote infinite banking or bank on yourself, velocity banking, etc., that do charge a fee or tuition or membership in order for them to set up a policy properly so that the cash value grows at the maximum rate. But you don't have to work with those agencies or agents. I, for one, do not charge any fees or tuitions for my consultation or help with setting up and using policies for infinite banking. As for Ramsey's claim of high commission whole life, well, here's the actual truth about that, okay? Term insurance pays a commission equal to 100% of the first year's premium. And isn't that what Ramsey and most other financial planners recommend? Buy term from me and invest the rest with me. Let me manage it for you and collect fees and so forth. And then there's universal life, guaranteed, indexed, and variable, which pays a commission equal to 100 to 150% of the first year's premium. Whole life, on the other hand, pays a commission equal to only 50 to 55% of the first year's premium. And if designed correctly for infinite banking, the commission is cut back to just about 15% of the first year's premium. So who's really pushing the high commission life products? Oh, oops. It's the financial advisors like Dave Ramsey, who, by the way, doesn't understand infinite banking at all, or whole life insurance for that matter. Another supposed downside is you could risk losing the tax-free growth benefit. Well, yes, that is possible if you load in more money into the policy than the MEC limit allows. But again, if you're working with a reputable infinite banking specialist, MEC limits will have been explained in advance, and your policy will be set up to meet your financial abilities and requirements. Plus, if you apply to load in additional cash value, the provider company always will perform a MEC test and will inform you of the maximum amount that you can load in without triggering the MEC. So there really isn't any risk, as if you can accidentally load in too much money and lose the tax advantage without knowing about it. So anyway, the article I got these points on the dark side of infinite banking from concludes, Unlike the rest of your personal finances, you truly need outside expertise to get infinite banking right. You gotta be kidding me. Look, unless you personally have a producer's license, you need an outside expertise just to purchase a life insurance policy of any kind. Yes, you do need to work with an actual infinite banking expert or specialist to get a policy that is properly designed for infinite banking. And you should work with an agent who will help you understand how to practice infinite banking, how to initiate policy loans, and the obligation to pay at least the interest on the loans. But once you've put the strategy to use once or twice, it's like riding a bike. Super easy, not complicated at all. So what's the downside to infinite banking? What's the dark side? It really comes down to simply that there is a real lack of knowledge of the strategy. Not enough people are teaching the strategy. As a result, it remains very much an outlier. That is, it is far from being a mainstream strategy. Why is that? Mostly because it's not in the financial best interest of the agents to inform and design policies correctly for use of the infinite banking strategy. That is, when a policy is correctly designed for infinite banking, as I mentioned a minute ago, the commissions paid to the agent will be about 70% less than it would be for the same size policy without the correct design. So until more agents become willing to take a cut and pay and put the interests of their clients ahead of their own, infinite banking will remain a secret strategy used mostly by the wealthy. Now, if you have found this to be helpful, please like this video and subscribe to this channel. Also, please post your questions and comments here. For a more complete explanation of the tax-free cash growth warehouse strategy, you can watch our free 60-minute webinar. The link is in the description box below. The link to buy my books on Amazon.com is also below. And if you'd like to book a free consultation, phone consultation with me, the link to my Calendly page is also below. You can go there and book a phone call with me. It's absolutely free, no obligation. And if you'd like to apply to become a client of ours, the link to the application is also below. We're here to help, and we look forward to helping you. For now, aloha and mahalo for watching.